question that is asked often is how to write good prompts, and there is no one good answer to this question. Good prompts are prompts that are suited for the task that large language model is supposed to do. So this is why we cannot say it's like one size fits all. It really depends on what kind of task a large language model is supposed to do. But there are a couple of rules that are making prompts, like some prompts perform better than others. Prompts need to be very clear. They need to explain very well what the task is and what are the expected outcomes. They are direct and detailed. So we need to understand the task, the audience, the end goal. We need to explain it to large language model what those are. We need to be very specific about the output that we are expecting. And the best way to make prompts perform well is to add instructions in sequential steps. We can also add examples that are also helpful. We can ask large language model to think in steps. It's called the chain of thoughts. And we just ask them to reason about their answer. Especially we can ask them to reason before giving answer. So like first explain how they are getting to an answer and then actually giving it. Also, like we can adjust our prompt to the data structure that our model responds best to. For example, for Anthropic, this is XML tags. XML tags work great with Anthropic models. Also, one thing that I also mentioned before is the system prompt. System prompt is this one part that is sent on the very beginning, and it's setting the role for the large language models. For example, you are an helpful assistant to a programmer, for example. And one other thing that can be helpful, especially in our case when we are adding some context to prompt, is to first include this long context and then add instructions. So instructions should be after the long context. So large language model can be aware of what they need to do with this long context. So those are a couple of very simple things you can start with to create good prompt. But from my opinion, the most important part of working on a prompt is iteration.